Welcome back, Matt from Jaggers Brewing Co. Today I'm going to be brewing my summer jam. It is July 15th, so I'm a little bit late for the beginning of summer, but better to do it now than never. It says it's 80 degrees outside at 7:30 in the morning here in Gulf Coast, Texas. It legit feels like at least 93 out here right now. It's pretty hot already. So let's get this water going in this kettle and get mashed in and all that before it gets terribly too much hotter. So the strike temperature today is going to be 158, and we're going to mash in at 152 for 75 minutes. The water profile today for the water salts is going to be the yellow dry profile found on BeerSmith. Water salts going in for the mash. Doing yellow dry water profile found in BeerSmith. We reached our strike temperature, so it's time to get this brew bag in and get our mash going. Got all the grain in. Just been doing partial pours and mixing, all that. Get all this saturated, going, converting. Today's grain bill is 70.1% Belgian Pils, 19.7% Rye Malt, and then 10.3% Torrified Wheat. Mashing in at 152 for 75 minutes. Time to pull the grain, drain it. Get ready for mash out. Taking a sample outside of the kettle. Gonna let it cool off and then see what our pre-boil gravity is. .042, just 0.002 off of where we should be. We're doing good. Time for the mash out. .168 for 10 minutes. Mash out's complete. Let's get this thing moved into the boil. Almost up to boil now. Got a little action there in the corner. Turn it down just a little bit so that way we don't get a crazy break or boil over here. Slow and steady for this part. All right, 1 ounce These Kent Goldens going in for 60 minutes. If I can open up this package. There we go. Whirlfloc tablet going in, 15-minute addition. Bam. Throwing in the yeast nutrient. That's a 10-minute addition, 5 more minutes, and our last hop addition will go in. Last boil addition, last 5 minutes of boil, some Saaz. Boil's over. It's really hot outside. Groundwater's hot. I'm not even gonna chill this. I will kind of go back to no chill this out and pitch yeast when we're a lot closer to pitching temperature. See you guys back then. Next morning yeast pitch. Yeast going in first to aerate with the wort. Here we are 2 weeks later after fermentation started. Put the hydrometer in the fermenter, waiting for it to get focused. I'll call that 10:02. Pretty dry. Let's keg this thing up. Sanitize keg, wrecking cane, and tube. Lithuanian Farmhouse yeast is a beast. Going to purge this keg as soon as it's filled up with this lid. I've been putting these lids on the kegs recently so I can purge easier. My other ones didn't have the relief valve like that. Get it kegged up and crashing in carbon. Mess. Get in here and clean this up, but let's do this. Alright, turn the valve off now and purge. Do it again. Time to force carb this thing for 48 hours, and this one we'll see it again next. Mason jar full of harvested yeast, a little bit of trub from the fermenter. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? So, welcome back. This is Matt from Jaggers Brewing Co. I hope you enjoyed the kind of different filming operation that I did there for this beer. As you can see, or you heard earlier, this is my summer jam. This is the Lithuanian Farmhouse Ale. Basically, you know, Saaz Farmhouse brewed with the Omega Lithuanian Farmhouse Ale strain. I've brewed this thing probably a good, I don't know, 10 8, 10, 12 times, something like that. It's a favorite not only of mine, but also of my friends. So I normally brew it 2-3 times a year or so, it seems like. This is the latest version. I was kind of pretty slow on brew day this year. I had just a lot of stuff going on, kind of fell off my radar for whatever reason. Kept saying, oh, I need to do it, and time just kind of got away from me, you know, as things happen there. So still got a little condensation on the glass, as you can see. You can see a little bit through it. Still got a little bit of chill haze, and like I said, the condensation. But cheers. Oh, this is the stuff right here, man. Tell you what, this is one of the beers that I always look forward to every year. You know, I've brewed it too before, not in summer as well, but I really love this beer. I love the expressions that the yeast impart on this recipe. So I went over the recipe. The recipe's pretty much the same as all the other farmhouses and saisons that we do here, and so I don't really want to talk too much about, I guess, the grain bill so much. I mean, the recipe will be in the description as always, but let's talk about the yeast character, right? So it has a very phenolic hit on it. That clove spice aspect for sure. Fresh, I've noticed this yeast kind of has a little bit of a citrus taste. It's still there. I would say it's kind of more of the like orange type citrus fruit, but it has died down a little bit. The last time I had this beer was about a week ago. We're right about just after a month, maybe almost a month and a half since brew day. But man, this thing is wonderful. On the nose, you definitely get those phenol type smells, and maybe that's suggested there from me already tasting it, right? Like, you know, smell and taste are pretty much interlinked there, but maybe I should have done the aroma first. But definitely picking up on those phenol, like clove-like, again, spices, maybe a little bit of pepper on the back end of both the taste and the smell. So I compared this yeast before in a previous video with 2 other yeasts. Be sure to check out that video. I definitely feel like I've learned a lot more about, 1, brewing, and then 2, saisons and farmhouses, and kind of like what I like, what I'm looking for when it comes to this style, what I want out of this beer. And I think that this yeast kind of really hits all the high points that I'm personally looking for. I'm looking more for the dryness. This thing came in at 1.002, so it's pretty dry. I'm also looking for a lot of those kind of phenols and a little bit of funk. And as far as the funk goes, it's on the very back end. It's not funk like you would expect from like a Brett or a sour, you know, farmhouse saison aspect. But it does almost remind me of like those hay-like characteristics from those beers. I cannot express to you how good this beer is and how much that I absolutely love it. I know a lot of times I try to have a good vocabulary with those descriptors, but I think that the flavor profile that this thing exhibits is like no other that I've come close to. Maybe like that Saison came pretty close, but this thing is wonderful. It's just like a phenolic bomb, but to me it's not overpowering. It's not like off-putting. You got a little bit of that like cloveness and the spiciness, but it's not overwhelming. I can see how some people would be put off to it as far as that goes. It has just a little bit of the malt profile. I'm sure that the clove profile that it's exhibiting is kind of like beefed up due to the rye that's in this grain bill. Excuse me. But yeah, I really love this beer. It's cleared up some. You can see that I've got some yeast floaties in there. I had to move some kegs around earlier. I kicked a keg and I got one that's pretty close to kicking, so I moved this to the far corner so that way I wouldn't have to move it again later on. Sorry for the windy day. We're in the middle of summer here. It's been pretty hot. Today we actually got a little bit of rain early. It was just enough to kind of make it feel hotter, but you know, it is what it is this time of year. Overall, you know, if you're really looking for that phenolics taste with the, give this yeast a try. I had another homebrew with the Saison, and it was a different grain bill than I used at Homebrew Club the last meeting, and the profile is pretty much the same across almost every example I've ever had of this. People using this yeast. You know, I think Omega kind of hit it out of the park by sourcing the yeast that they use there, and it's supposed to be the same traditional yeast strain that's actually used in a Lithuanian brewery, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully one day when we start traveling abroad, maybe we can make it over there and get a taste of the real stuff there, you know. But thanks for joining me on this summer jam, hanging out with me. Hopefully you liked the way that I shot the video earlier with the brew footage and all that. If you got anything else that you want to see, let me know in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers.